when thinking of caffeine. Most individuals think of caffeine and they think immediately of the negative effects. Most people don't really realize the positive impacts it can have on your when consumed in moderation. In my survey you all took, the majority of you said that you have at least one caffeinated drink per day, meaning this topic pertains to most of you. Even those of you who don't consume caffeine daily can profit by understanding the benefits of caffeine. 10 out of the 14 respondents voted caffeine as a 3 or lower in my survey, meaning they thought it was more bad than good. This is why I'm going to persuade you into considering its benefits. The resources I used for this persuasive speech on the benefits of caffeine were composed by members who are very distinguished in their respective fields. The credibility of this speech and the material it is made out of roots from the expertise and credibility of the authors. Many people think negatively of caffeine and think it is poorly impacting their health. In reality, it can have a positive impact on your health if consumed in moderation. My purpose of this speech is to persuade you into considering the benefits of caffeine. I will now take you through the benefits of caffeine on your health, physical activity, and the right amount of caffeine to consume. There are many benefits of caffeine that people don't even realize. Some of these benefits include the impact they play on athletic activity. Nancy Guest et al. Composed an article entitled International Society of Sports Nutrition Position Stand, Caffeine and Exercise Performance. This article highlights the positive effects of caffeine in sports and exercise. Guest et al. Mention that caffeine plays a different role in every individual, but they state that aerobic endurance appears to be the form of exercise with the most consistent moderate to large benefits from caffeine use. The article also mentions that caffeine improves performance in both trained and untrained individuals. The article entitled Caffeine and Exercise, What Next? By Craig Pickering and Jozo Gergic explains some positives of caffeine. Paraphrased in the article, caffeine is seen to be a very effective ergogenic aid, and the authors feel that caffeine is an enhancing element in performance of physical activity. Jorn Michael Volker et al. Composed an article named Caffeine and its Pharmacological Benefits in the Management of Androgenic Alopecia, a Review. This article talks about some of the benefits of caffeine. The article states, caffeine has been linked to an increased metabolism and is considered an ergogenic aid. Several effects of caffeine are thought to enhance performance, particularly for endurance sports. The article written by Pickering and Gergic, as well as the article composed by Guest et al., suggest that consuming caffeine 60 minutes before physical activity is the optimal timing for it to be absorbed into the body. Now that you know about the positive impacts caffeine can have on physical activity, I will tell you about other benefits caffeine can bring to the table. There are many health benefits of caffeine that people also don't know. Some of them are highlighted in the study performed and analyzed by Jiangpeng Ren and Jiangfan Chen. The title of this article is Caffeine and Parkinson's Disease, Multiple Benefits and Emerging Mechanisms. The study they performed revealed that daily consumption of more caffeine during midlife reduces the risk for developing Parkinson's disease at age 65 compared to non-caffeine drinkers. In the conclusion of this study, the article says, systematic analysis of 120 observation studies have firmly established that regular human consumption of caffeine is associated with reduced risk for Parkinson's disease. In the article entitled Cognitive Enhancement Effects of Stimulants, a randomized control trial testing methylphenidate, modafinil, and caffeine, was written by Dimitri Rapantis et al. Caffeine showed to have a positive effect on sustained attention. Rapantis et al. Mentions, finally, for a large number of people, caffeine seems to be the most obvious option for cognitive enhancing substances. As stated by Volker et al., the consumption of coffee has been reported to be linked with a decreased dementia risk. Midlife coffee consumption, in general, was associated with a decreased late-life dementia risk, while caffeine intake in particular was associated with a decelerated cognitive decline. Volker et al.'s article also shows evidence that caffeine caused a reduction in the frequency of liver disease, less severe hepatic fibrosis when 2 cups of coffee when ingested, and decreased risk of type 2 diabetes. There have also been positive effects of caffeine in cancer patients, including prostate, breast, and skin cancer. The article on John Hopkins' website, entitled 9 Reasons Why the Right Amount of Coffee and Caffeine is Good for You, states more health benefits for women who drink caffeine. The first benefit it explains is that you could live longer. Recent studies found that women who drink coffee are less likely to die from coronary heart disease, strokes, diabetes, and kidney disease. The website gives the second reason, saying people who drink more coffee are less likely to get type 2 diabetes because their body may produce glucose better. The third and fourth reason the article provides is that you're less likely to develop heart failure and Parkinson's disease. It explains that caffeine is not only linked to the prevention of Parkinson's disease, but also may alleviate the symptoms for someone who has already been diagnosed, control their movements. The fifth reason is that it is good for your liver. The article explains coffee seems to have protective effects on your liver, and people who drink coffee are more likely to have healthy liver enzyme levels. The sixth reason provided is that it strengthens DNA and decreases the breakage of DNA strands, which can lead to tumors and cancer if not repaired by your cells. Reason number 7 is that your odds of developing colon cancer will decrease. Coffee consumers were found to have a 26% less risk to develop cancer in their colon. The second to last reason that caffeine improves your health is that there is a decreased risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. Researchers found that those aged 65 or older who drink 2 to 3 cups of coffee per day were less likely to develop dementia. Lastly, the website says that caffeine will make you less likely to suffer from a stroke. Women who drink at least 1 cup of coffee a day are correlated to a lesser risk of stroke. After going through these benefits, you still need to know what the right amount of caffeine to consume is. I will now tell you what the safe amount to consume is. In my survey, there was a question asking you all to pick what you thought the safe amount of caffeine was. The options were 400 milligrams, 800 milligrams, 1,000 milligrams, and 1,200 milligrams of caffeine. The correct answer was 400 milligrams, which was only picked by 40%, or 6 of the 16 respondents. This told me that I needed to touch on this topic, considering the majority of respondents picked an incorrect answer. The article on John Hopkins' website, entitled 9 Reasons Why the Right Amount of Coffee and Caffeine is Good for You, states the safe amount of caffeine to consume. According to the dietary guidelines for Americans, it is safe for most women to drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee a day with a maximum intake of 400 milligrams of caffeine. The article explains that 400 milligrams is an amount that will provide the consumer with the benefits of caffeine while avoiding the negative side effects. Most people believe that caffeine is inherently unhealthy. Although many individuals think otherwise, caffeine can make a positive impact on your health if consumed in moderate amounts. Last time I was up here talking to you, I told you my purpose for my speech was not to persuade you. This time my purpose is to persuade you, and I hope I have successfully persuaded you all into considering caffeine as a healthy substance when consumed in moderation. From now on, when you consume caffeine, I hope you think of the possible benefits you are giving your body. Thank you for listening.